Perfect, Program Assistant with Purdue Extension in Dearborn County. In this video, I'm going to share some tips with you about when to harvest and how to do it. So again, focusing on indoor plants grown on an aeroponic system, like some of our favorites that I've mentioned before, such as lettuces, kale, Swiss chard, bok choy, and all different herbs. So if we just focus on those indoor plants, let's start first with lettuce. My favorite way to harvest lettuce is once I see the plant go from a seed to a full harvest in about 6 weeks, where the leaves are all kind of budding like that out of the seed pod, or out of the pod where the seeds were planted. That's when I like to cut it, right there at the bottom of the lettuce plant, okay? So I like to cut right across there, harvest the whole plant, and then allow the plant to regrow. If you were to cut leaf by leaf, which is another option, you could do that, but then part of your plant's gonna regrow at a different timeline as the rest of the plant. And one thing to keep in mind is that if you do not harvest right away and you let it go and go and go, the plant will grow and it'll start to shoot out, like it'll get taller, and then the leaves kind of go like this instead of a nice little head of lettuce or bundle of lettuce. The leaves start shooting off the sides, and in that case, the plant just starts to taste more bitter. So you're not going to get as fresh and crisp of a taste with the lettuce if you allow the plant to grow too long. Again, keeping in mind that if you go from a seed to a full harvest with something like butter crunch lettuce, you're going to be harvesting within 6 weeks of after planting the seeds. Okay, I hope that helps. I'll include some pictures here so you can see the differences between harvesting when I recommend it and waiting too long to where the leaves get too bitter. In this image, you can see on the right side, the light colored plant is lettuce. And this lettuce is ready to harvest. Looking at this image, it's quite different. That tall stalk with those leaves branching off the sides is lettuce that has grown too long. How about things like kale, Swiss chard, and bok choy? A little different from lettuces and definitely different on how you harvest them. So on something like kale or Swiss chard or bok choy, these plants have the newest leaves coming from the inside, and the oldest leaves are the leaves on the outside of the plant. So you want to harvest those older leaves first, harvesting from the outside to the inside. And it is helpful to take a few leaves from each of those plants at a time instead of cutting straight across at the bottom of the plant. Okay, so keep that in mind, that when harvesting things like kale, Swiss chard, bok choy, those hardy greens, that you're going to take a few leaves at a time and cut from the outside of the plant, allowing the plant to regrow new parts on the inside, new leaves coming in on the inside of the plant. And then lastly, when harvesting herbs, there's a few different ways you can do this. I always recommend harvesting as you need it. So again, having a plan before you ever plant your garden is really helpful for you to know what are you going to do with what you grow. And then you'll definitely have a plan in place, and then you'll know when your herbs are growing, you can cut them and allow them to continue to grow. But again, you have two options when harvesting your herbs. You can cut them straight across the bottom of the plant to harvest a lot of different parts of the herb at once, or you can cut just a little bit off as you need it. So I hope this is helpful, and I can't wait to share more with you in the next video.